Okay, we're here with the 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro with the all-new BFG KO3s. These are a 285/75 R18. Just got these put on. Reading on the forums, it sounded like they were going to fit with no rubbing. I thought I'd make a quick video. I do have some slight rubbing, but they really fill out the wheel well. Just wanted to show them here quick. We'll go in and we'll take a look at where we're rubbing at. So normal driving, I got about 1,000 miles or so on these now so far. Normal going forward, I don't get any rubbing whatsoever. But backing up especially, I get some rubbing. So I'll try to show a video me out in the driveway, turn it a little bit, and then we're going to crank the wheels here and see if we can't mold the wheel well liners and get rid of that light rubbing. Overall initial impressions of the tire, I'm pretty happy so far. I've got about 1,000 miles on them. Highway, they've been fairly quiet. I'm coming over from the Nitto Ridge grapplers. I was happy with those. I got about 42,000 miles out of them. And to the best I can remember when they were new, comparable road noise. I think the BFGs might just be a hair quieter. I was real happy with the performance of the Nittos. I had those in a slightly smaller size, so no rubbing issues or anything like that. My big gripe with those, they didn't wear very even. Alignment, that helped some. But as they wore down, I got more and more road noise with them, and it was a fight. Played my tire pressures, and again, the alignment, that helped, and got the wearing a little more even. About 42,000 miles. I probably could have got a few more months if we weren't rolling into winter out of them, but I saw some cracking, some dry rotting around the treads that made me nervous, and then unfortunately I got a nail in the rear tire, so I went ahead and ordered these. They're tough to get. I got these ones through Tire Rack, had them ordered, and a local installer put them on for me. Very good looking tire. I like the way they look on the fronts as well, how they fill out the wheel well. Nice aggressive pattern. Went with the white walls in, but you can look in here, you can see pretty similar to the KO2. I've had those on previous trucks on my Tacoma, and I was very happy with the overall performance. I thought the winter traction could have been just a hair better with the KO2s, but they never left me stranded, never had any glaring issues with them. So I thought I'd give these a try. So we'll see what they do over this winter. Don't get a ton of snow here, but usually some, and a lot of that, like half-inch dusting and frozen water on the roads type situations where it's dry and then it turns to ice for a little bit. So we'll see what they do. Okay, so here we are at full lock to the left. Take a look in here. You can see where we've had some of the rubbing in here on the rear mud flap. So I'm hoping I can heat that up and push that back a little bit. Taking a look over to the front here. Same thing, just a little bit of rubbing on the plastic. Decent clearance on the UCAs up here. I'd say we've still got probably close to a half-inch or so. I could see the potential, if the tire was pushed up in, for it to rub in here, but I don't have any wear marks yet. Not to say it was some real aggressive, rock crawling or something, that it couldn't happen, but nothing that I've experienced yet so far. On this side, we don't have anything on the rear mud flap. Same story on the UCAs. Again, if I'm trying to hold my fingers perfectly straight, I definitely see potential for the tire to get into it, but I haven't been able to do anything to cause that. And then looking in here, you can see there's some daylight coming through there, but it's like as I come back through the swing, just a slight bit of rubbing here. Again, this is about over 1,000 miles. I haven't done any crazy off-roading, just some light stuff. Mainly this is like turning in parking lots. Obviously I have the front air deflectors, remove spats, I think they call them, off of there. So from what I've read on the forums, I think I can hit this with a heat gun, push it forward a little bit. If not, I might have to look at some kind of spacer kit that pushes this front bumper forward just slightly. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to try here, you can see there's a little bit of gap here. I've got number 10 socket. There's some bolts down there underneath. I'm going to loosen those and just see if I can push that inner fender well liner forward, maybe gain a little bit of clearance there to help. And then my plan is to take a heat gun and heat up on the inside of there and see what I can push back and push back in. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, and just to show you, hopefully you can see here, these are the bolts that I tried to loosen up and push this plastic wheel well liner in, which is what it's rubbing on. I don't think I really gained anything there at all. So the next step's gonna be take the heat gun, and I'm just gonna try to push this back in here. But just to give you a look underneath, not too bad for 4 years old and 75,000 miles. I have a little bit of surface rust back in here. I'm gonna do for brakes probably in the spring on the front. I just did pads on the rear. All in all, Fox shock's looking pretty good still. Like I said, a little bit of surface rust, especially right here. You can see, you know, and again down here. But all in all, it looks pretty good underneath here. I don't abuse my truck, but I certainly use it for what it was made for. It does some light off-roading, and then, of course, a lot of gravel roads, that sort of thing. Typical that you'd see living out in a rural area. But all in all, underneath is looking great. And you can see the raised white lettering on the KO3 here would look good. It was definitely a tough choice going between that and doing the black letters on the outside. Okay, so I've been heating this for a little while with the heat gun. You can see now it's kind of deformed down in here. I've been pushing. I've heard of some guys using a basketball to keep the shape a little bit more round. I don't have one handy, nor do I want to pull the wheel off, just so I don't have to keep putting it on a test fit. It took a lot more heat than I thought it was gonna. I don't know if you can see underneath here, but the ridge right where the wheel well liner curves underneath here, it's a lot more rigid than I anticipated. So hopefully now with that curve forward a little bit towards the front bumper, that'll give us the clearance that we need. We'll move around to the passenger side and see what we've got looking at. Okay, here we are looking at the passenger side. Yeah, I've been hitting the passenger side with the heat gun here, and been working pretty hard. I put a lot more heat than I wanted to on this point right here, and I'm not sure if it's just because that's where the painted front of the bumper mat lines up, or if there's some kind of brace there. That didn't fold too clean, so you can see it. It kind of started to crease on me there, pressing on it. Hoping I got it far enough back. This back portion back here, that folded in nice and soft and easy, and I'd say I picked up 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch pushing out there. I didn't have any rubbing anywhere else, so I'm hoping that'll be enough to clear it, even if the tire pushes up into the wheel well a bit. And then just showing the passenger side here, here's the suspension. Like I said, those Foxes really probably are a little overdue for being rebuilt, but you can see everything in the steering looks pretty good. I don't have any complaints there, so everything still feels nice and tight. It handles well. And then here's the clearance on the UCAs. So you can see, you know, I got a fat finger width there. My fear is as the tire pushes up, is there a chance that this could connect with the inner sidewall, and it's close. I don't know. I'm not really a big spacer guy. I don't want to go to spacers, so I'm hoping that's not an issue, that I don't have to kick the tire out at all. If I do get any kind of rubbing in there, I'll let you know. I haven't been in anything crazy, but I have been in some slight off camper stuff here. Kind of the usual for the Northeast, you know, no crazy rock crawling or anything like that, but you can see there's no cuts or any marks in the dirt or anything like that on these tires. Like I said, it's been over roughly 1,000 miles so far. All right, here we are looking at the mud flap. You can see just a light little spot right there. Hoping the old heat gun will just push that right back out of the way. I hate to lose the mud flaps. Not that I really love the looks of them, but my paint certainly gets beat up enough. Gravel roads and stuff. You can see I've got these Go Rhino side steps on there, and they do a ton to protect it. But this is, you know, just like a week and a half without a wash, and you can see how dirty they've gotten, and they've really done a lot to protect it. Before I got them when the truck was brand new, I was having a big issue with stone chips down low there. Actually had a few of the spots repainted under warranty. because I had some other paint issues, and luckily the paint shop touched them up for me. But since I put those on, they help a lot, and I'm sure that the mud flaps do too. So I hate to lose those. Hopefully we can bend those out of the way here. So we'll just set about the old heat gun here and see where it gets us. Okay, so same deal on the mud flap here. It took more heat than I wanted. I tried to keep it the factory line here. I don't want my mud flap to droop weird or something like that. Hoping I pushed it far enough back. We'll just have to see where that gets us, you know, as it turns. But I tried to push everything back as much as I could while keeping that crease. And if that doesn't work, then I'll just have to fly. Let's take a look at this passenger side. I pushed it back a little bit more here than I did on the driver's side. It clears all the way through. No issues. We'll see how it does when it is off camber, uneven terrain, something like that. We'll go from there and take a look at it. Okay, so test looked good. I didn't see it touching anywhere. Didn't hear anything rubbing. I didn't like how close this mud flap was, so I tried to push it back a little bit more. You can see the first time I got it so hot, even though this crease wasn't really giving on me, the plastic was starting to melt and wipe away. That's why it looks so chewed up. That's not actually from the tire. After singeing a little bit of arm hair, I figured I actually want to heat more up here, and that let me push this down and straighten this angle out some. So hopefully that gave me the clearance that I'm looking for here. We'll take it out and test it and see what happens. Okay, I apologize that it's dark out here for this. I know that doesn't give the full effect, but let's see. So here's full lock left. Very hard lock. I'm feeling a little bit of rubbing. But if I come off that far, got no rubbing. We'll drop over the pavement here and nothing. Okay, let's back up, same position. Nothing. Full lock. Nothing going backwards at full lock. Again, we had that just slide them out going forward, and that's very light. I could just barely feel it. Okay. So let's pull forward again. Straight. Here's full stop right. I got nothing going forward, full stop right. Let's try backing up. And again, we went and took the front tires off the edge of the driveway, so I've got nothing full stop right. Coming back full stop left, hopefully it'll make enough of a mark. And I got nothing going backwards, full stop left. Pull forward, full stop left. Just a very light amount of rubbing. Go over the edge of the driveway, back up. I got nothing. Turn the headlights on before I crash here. Yeah, that all feels good. Drive off into the grass here again. I got nothing. So it feels like just that going forward, and when I say full stop, I mean more than I usually turn it. You know, usually if I hit the stop, I back it off a half inch or so, and that's all I'm talking about is when you're at the absolute full stop. I had some rub. So I think if that's all it is, I'm going to be happy with it. I'll take one more look at it here and just make sure if I can see it's something easy to push out of the way, I will. But all in all, I'm pretty content with it. Not a lot more work. My previous tires with the Nidos, probably didn't need to, but I pulled those front air flaps off. I didn't think they looked that good anyways. And you know, here we are, just a little bit of heat gun work, not even trimming anything. So I think I can live with that. You know, if you guys like this, you found it helpful, maybe we'll get some more Tundra videos up here. You can see I'm at 74.9, 14 on the mileage, and I bought this brand new. I was coming into it from a 2014 Tacoma, and before that a 2010 Tacoma, and several Silverados before that. That's my baseline, what I'm comparing it to. Absolutely love the truck. Hope to keep it for years to come. Looking at just a few more light mods. Might look at doing a re-gear for daily driving. I don't think it needs it with these tires. I notice a little bit of lag with the, especially on the acceleration, that sort of thing. And then 5th and 6th gear, they've always felt a little funny to me. They feel a little bit more funny to me. We'll see what it does as I get more time behind the wheel with it. That's where I think the re-gear could really shine. I find myself kicking it down into 4th quite a bit. But where I live, it's also very hilly, and I do tow a fair amount. So considering maybe a re-gear down the line, looking for more info on that. There's not a ton of videos out there. Trying to do some research, worried a little bit about gear wind. And then something else to help the back end with towing. I got a buddy, he has a 21 Pro as well. He did a whole new leaf pack. I don't know if I want to go that route or look at something like the Roadmaster Active Suspension. So if anybody has any feedback or opinions on that, I'd love to hear them, see what direction I'm going to go. But just something to help the rear end. I do use a load distribution hitch. That makes a tremendous amount of difference. But a little bit more squat than I'd like, and then the typical body roll that comes with having a soft off-road suspension. So those are the things I look to address. Other than that, this is it. I think this is as big of a tire as I want to go. I'm real happy with how it looks and pleased, and we'll see what, if they say time will tell. Okay, just to show you some of the road noise with the KO3s. Like I said, I think they're pretty comparable to how my Middle Ridge grapplers were when they were new. Certainly much quieter than when I took those off. About 42,000 miles on them. So this is between 55 60 miles an hour here. And really the tire noise just kind of blends right in with the TRD Pro exhaust. Don't hear much of anything. I mean, if you listen really close with the radio off, you can hear just a little bit, but it really blends with the wind noise and the exhaust note. On the interstate highway speeds, I can hear them a little bit more when I'm just at idle, but again, nothing that's difficult to talk. My nittos, when my alignment got a little bit off and they were wearing choppy, I almost felt like I had to yell to passengers in the back seat. Luckily, rotating them and fixing the alignment, they wore back in and quieted down a little bit for me. But just to give you a rough idea what it sounds like. I'll just show you the view of the tires, how they look on the truck. Still a little dirty. I ran it through the quick spray and go wash here, but just to give you a better idea how they fill out the wheel well. I think they look pretty good. Going to the car wash and maneuvering through there, I had no rubbing, no issues, so it looks like that worked. You can see it's still close back here, but got a decent amount of space on it. I'm really happy with the tires. Ride's great, like I say, with the noise, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like on the truck there.